Editing is the practice of modifying work in order for it to be suitable for publishing. The process of editing began when Thomas Edison ran a film laboratory, which was responsible for the creation of the kinetographic camera and the kinetoscope. Edison also created the 35mm film strip and the projector in order for the films to be played. The kinetoscope was a closed cabinet which projected films. The user would need to open the top and look through the hole. The backlight on it would illuminate the film and would create a moving picture. The film would then be rotated at a selected speed. It was first screened in 1894 and it was a public hit. Edison worked alongside the Lumiere brothers to produce films that were a lengthy locked-down shot. Motion was crucial to please the audience. An example of this was a film that displayed activities just simply like traffic in an active street. The Lumiere brothers created the cinematograph. It was created through mixing a camera and a projector together. It used a filming speed of 16 frames per second, in opposition to the kinetograph's 48 frames per second. This meant that less film was being used, and it reduced the amount of background noise that would be created. George Méliès approved of the Lumiere brothers' idea, and wanted to explore the opportunities more. With that, he created a studio, and designed sets, and wrote scripts. His first creation was a film called The Vanishing Lady in 1896. This demonstrated the first use of in-camera editing. It was also rumoured that the art of stop motion was formed through a filming accident when creating this. He never used close-ups and long shots, and this happened to be his demise. The industry drove him out of his business due to a commercial growth, and he eventually died in poverty in 1913. Edwin Porter used to work as an electrician, and then went to work for Edison in the 1890s. Porter created the film Life of an American Fireman in 1903. This was the first film to ever have a plot, action, and a close-up. Porter also created a film called The Great Train Robbery in 1903. This was the earliest example of a film which resembled those that were made today.
If you're going to storm Kim Jong-il's palace single-handed, we have to make you a complete soldier in very little time.
How are we gonna do that?
I think I know just what we need.
A montage is a film editing technique which was created by Khrushchev to demonstrate a shot-by-shot process. There are three methods of creating a montage. Those of French film, the simple assembly of clips forming a literal montage. Soviet filming, juxtaposing clips to create a brand new meaning. And a Hollywood montage, which is supposed to compress a particular part of the narrative. It's usually used in training sequences. In-camera editing is a technique where the operator creates the shots in the order which they'll be viewed in. This was a technique used heavily in the earlier days of filming. This was because it was before the days of splicing. George Méliès liked to use this technique a lot. French New Wave is an editing style that doesn't conform to traditional Hollywood editing conventions. It has a lack of continuity, a low budget, it mainly focuses on the mise-en-scene, it has a self-reflexive nature, and it constantly uses jump cuts, and it's presented in black and white and uses natural lighting. Parallel editing is when two scenes happen simultaneously, yet at different locations. They will often culminate together in a single area when the narrative requires the two parties to have a confrontation. Seamless editing ensures temporal and spatial continuity in order to progress the narrative. This is done by techniques like the 180-degree rule and the shot-reverse shot technique. It maintains a sense of chronology, and is meant to give a feeling that time is moving forward. Flashbacks may occur in the film, despite the narrative will still be realistic and linear. There are two types of continuity editing. Eyeline match, which is when someone looks at something off screen, and then the camera will show you something which is being looked at, and match on action, where a person's doing an action in one shot, and continuing it in the next shot. The 180-degree rule is what states that the two characters should always have the same relationship with each other on screen. Passing the axis which connects the two characters is called crossing the line. Shot reverse shot is the practice of having the camera view one character speaking to another character, and the next shot is focusing on said other character responding to the first character. Transition is what splits the two clips together. The most common form of transition is a straight cut. This simply goes from one clip to the other without any form of creative effect. Despite its simplicity, it's the most preferred form of transition. That's because of how much it maintains realism. Dissolving is when one clip fades off screen when another fades into the screen at the same time. It is often used to show similarity or connection. Fading is when a clip gradually turns to black so the next clip can turn from the black. It's usually used to show when time is passing. Wipes are when one clip is pushed to the side by another clip. It's used to show a scene occurring at the same time but at a different location. Star Wars currently uses this transition. Editing is required to determine 4 meanings for the audience. These are what order you view the scenes of the narrative, how much information you receive from the narrative, what the audience's emotions should be about the situations the characters are suffering through the drama that's being developed, and it's also used to tell the narrative and engage the audience with it. The opening scene in City of God shows how editing creates a meaning. There is a montage in the opening scene which shows a gang trying to chase a chicken that they were going to eat at a party. The director, Fernando Miralay, makes the audience sympathize with this chicken through various editing techniques. Those include jump cuts, possibly to show the chicken constantly blinking in fear. Seamless editing is used to show the action and the violence of the gang and the near misses that the chicken needs to go through, and the pace of the clips go through fast. This is to show the desperation and the quick thinking that the chicken would need to go through in order to escape. The opening also has a montage showing various chickens being cooked. It uses various clips, which convey the grotesque shots of the chickens being slaughtered, of which are accompanied by fade-outs to show each life ending for them. It also contains reaction shots of the surviving chicken watching in horror its friends' deaths. The non-diegetic sound is upbeat and sounds suitable for a festival, which the gang are currently attending. This is meant to create juxtaposition alongside the images, which are meant to be disturbing for the audience and meant to emphasize the fear that the chicken would be going through.